Welcome to another Road to Change podcast for StreetCones. Thanks for tuning in and sending us in your questions, some of which I've got here in front of me. As always, stay tuned at streetcones.org, like the StreetCones YouTube page, stay in touch with us at Twitter, StreetCones, and keep following our Road to Change live streams and podcasts. So today I have a really special guest with me called Laurie from Train Specific. We're at his gym up in Springburn. I had the pleasure of meeting Mark a couple of weeks ago at a Cash for Communities chat where I've heard some of his story. It's a very inspiring story, and so I want to get right into it. So Mark, you're known as the Neddy Scientist on Instagram. He's got over 7,000 followers. We'll find out why he's called the Neddy Scientist in a minute. He, in his own biography, talks about taking the scenic route in life. And for most of our guests, they'll have an idea what the scenic route means. And Mark's very frank about talking about that scenic route. And as you know, with StreetCones, we're all about lived experience. We're about people who have been down that scenic route and come out the other end and had their own, what we call road to change. And Mark's road to change has led to here, where he's got his own gym, he's got staff, he's done 3 years training at Napier University. He's got letters after his name now. So Mark, thanks for chatting to me.
Thank you.
It's a hell of a story. So we always start these because the Road to Change workshops that we run right now with people on community payback orders, we have these creative kind of games that we do with them. So we're always trying to bring people into the creative space, and they're often people that would never go near a creative space if you invited them.
Right.
So we've done loads of work in Shotts Prison where we've taken guys they're on high tariff sentences, never read a play, and we work with them for 12 weeks and then they write a play, and it's life-changing, life-changing for them. But we always start with some very daft, kind of easy stuff to get the change going. So, what's your favourite takeaway food?
Chinese.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Be able to talk to dogs.
Oh, an animal whisperer.
Actually have a conversation with them.
Imagine that.
Oh,
I mean,
amazing, man.
Imagine having it. I often look at Willow, my dog. I've got a wee mini Labradoodle, you know, and I look at her little daft face, and I'm like, what the hell's going on in there? I wonder.
My dog looks like that to me. He looks at me, because I'll talk to him, we'll be sitting in the van and he'll look at me as if, what's going on in there? Or else he'll just planks me and he looks at the window as if somebody's telling him to shut up. I talk to him, I talk to him, but I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that back forward.
Because they obviously do have communication, they have thoughts, they're able to respond to commands, so they do think. My dog, like this morning when I took her out before I came up here, she's got this routine where, I don't know if this is for the chat today or not, but she's got this routine when she poos where she has to like kind of dance around, she has to choose a very specific area, like, you know. And I've got another friend's dog, she's got a Vizsla, and I take the Vizsla around, when she needs a poo, she just does it. Whereas my dog has got this whole psychological game before she can...
Alva does the same, he's got to sniff at the perfect spot, and then he's got to circle, and then he'll do that, and he'll kind of look at you as if, got to know what's
don't look at me, you know, and then you've got to go and pick it up, and then she bolts after that. And so when I was thinking about the psychology of it all, I was like, she's having a thought process. You know, and that thought process will have some kind of language attached to it, you know. So that's a good superpower, and it's not one that anybody's mentioned. Invisibility, flight, not talking to dogs. So you're being sent to a desert island.
Yep.
You're allowed to take one item, a film or a book or TV show, and a person from history or alive today. So the item. Probably a wee radio or something to play music on. Okay. Solar powered. Solar powered CD player, a few old CDs. And your book or film?
A book. You need to be a big one so it kept you busy for a while. Maybe Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Aye.
Because I think that's one that I've still not finished it. I've been reading that for over a year. And when I started reading it, I used to try and read 10 pages. And I was like, nah, I'm not getting this, man. So I've not actually looked at it for a while, but what I was doing was I was reading no more than a page, sometimes just a paragraph, just to try and get it in, because it's pretty heavy. Have you read it?
Yeah, I have.
It's pretty heavy going.
And I've watched some of his YouTube videos as well. His clips from his talks. He's very, I think he's either he's Swedish or Danish or whatever, but he's very softly spoken, as you would imagine.
I was reading it and I was like, oh wait a minute, I need to get this. So then I would read it, and even if it's just a passage or a paragraph or a page, whatever it is, I read it and I need to read it again, and I've got to read it 10 times so you kind of break it down, and I think it did have quite an impact on my thinking and it being a bit more a conscious thinker. But I think if I took that to a desert island, you would take ages to read it, and then you could go back and read it again, and you could
loads of books though.
You could really kind of decipher it in different ways and interpret it in different ways.
Yeah, that's a good one to take with you. Power of Now is a cracking book, and a person alive or from history.
My dog. I don't know if I could take another person because I think it would do my heart in it for a while. Honestly, I'd do.
Alright. Yeah. And now that you've got your superpower, you'd be able to chat with your dog anyway. So yeah.
I really don't think No, I think it's something I couldn't take another person with me. They would drive me insane after so long.
Right.
I'd drive me mental.
Okay.
So I would just need my dog.
Yeah.
We were just talking about when I was not well a few months ago. I went away up north for 5 days with my dog after it, and it was absolutely amazing. Just a wee hut up in Aberfoyle. Aberfeldy.
Yeah.
And it was just me and my dog for 5 days, and it was absolutely fucking amazing.
Came back, zen,
came back like, I'm ready to go away again.
That is good. What's your earliest memory?
I've got some very early memories, like quite a few. And if I say to my mum, like what age was I when that happened? Like, you weren't even 2 then. So I can remember I was staying at my grand's and being on the phone to my mum, and I had jammies on, and I can kind of remember the jammies. They were like kind of purple and purple and cream white stripes down them, and they had a badge on them. And I says, Simon keeps saying, beam me up, Scotty. He said they looked like Star Trek. So I remember that. I remember being on the phone then. I remember I used to wear a Mr. T mask and had feather earrings and the plastic gold stuff. And I used to stand up at the window and wave at people and shoot people and all that. And, again, I think I don't know if I was 2 then. I was maybe 2 and a bit then, I can't remember. But we stayed, I think we were 1 or 2 up, I can't remember, and close. And the big bay windies, and there was a wee boy stayed in the next close. Right. So me and him used to show each other toys, and then I'd go and get something else, and then I'd show him, and then he'd go and get something to show me. And with that, I wasn't even 2 either.
Wow. It's amazing that 2 years old when you're starting to form memories.
Aye, so there's quite a few things will come back to us, and that was when I wasn't even 2.
Yeah. I've got one. I was telling Andrew Kimmett from Apex, who we both know, the other day that one of mine is, and I must have been 2, in a close. Although I'm from Thurso up in the Highlands, I grew up I was born in Edinburgh, and we lived in a close in Dundee Street. I've got a memory of just having what must have been a nappy on, bare feet, bare legs, in the close, the stone close, going up and down on a little kind of wooden car.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, bombing up and down this close. Well, this memory. So tell us a wee bit about your early childhood, like where you grew up and kind of what it was like.
Born in East End, and was in East End till a toddler, maybe just before school. Nice, just a boy toddler at sort of age. That was where my dad was from, so my granny's house was just kind of round the corner, just here along the road. And my dad was for a family, there was 8 of them, so my granny's house was always busy. So I always remember just being a wee guy, and I was the first grandchild on that side. So I was getting spoiled, and I was always on as aunties and uncles, and there was just pals, and the house was always mobbed. The house was always busy and I always get made a fuss of, so I always remember that. There was always somebody take me out to the park. There was a park just along the road for us, Alexandra Parade, Alley Park. So we got going to Alley Park every day and everything was, I suppose everything was good, man. It was pretty rosy. My wee sister came, I was at 2 when she was born. So there's early memories of that, but just remember childhood being pretty fun, I suppose. Aye.
Good.
Aye.
And so do you think that based on your environment and your upbringing, that offending behaviour was inevitable?
No. Never.
So,
No, it was my offending came from a choice. That was my volitional choice. My mum and dad actually moved out of the East End and moved to a quieter area, so to speak. But when we moved there was gang fighting and blah blah blah. Like we've just bought a house here and there's mad gang fights happening. But so they moved to a quieter area. Obviously when I thought of if we move to here, there's going to be less chance that I've got 2 younger sisters, so there's going to be less chance that Mark's obviously he's not going to grow up with gangs right there, he's not going to grow up with drugs and violence, blah blah blah. And I didn't, I suppose, we moved there just before I started school, so I went to primary school and that there, and then went to high school, but it was more towards the end of high school then I started kind of getting, there's a bigger world outside here and I wanted to start going investigating a wee bit.
So you talked, I remember in your talk that you gave, you were kind of drawn to it, or you went kind of looking for it, didn't you?
I suppose it just seemed like a natural, I don't know, like where I was hanging about and or where I was from, it just wasn't, I suppose it wasn't kind of doing it for me or something, I think. And there was me and a couple of boys that hung about with, we were kind of wanted a wee bit, something, I don't know, a wee bit more or something, I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but so we started getting into the town and we're going to, well first when we were younger we were going to the under 18 stuff. So you're then meeting people, and I mean it's different now, everybody's all connected, but you only, back in the days you seen people at the weekend when you were at whatever dancing it was, you seen them then. You maybe got pally people when you had their house phone number and you phoned their house during the week and you spoke to them or whatever, but that was it. Yeah. There was no, you never knew what was going on in their life, or if you didn't see them for however many weeks you didn't see them. Yeah. So once we got older we started kind of going to dancing with the unders, and meeting people from different areas, different schemes and that sort of thing. You start to kind of I suppose I got a wee bit of a crash course. Yeah.
And what do you remember, so now looking back, having travelled so far from those early days in the beginning of your offending period of your life, what do you remember being the first taste, if you like, for that lifestyle, for that part of your life? What was the first kind of bite of the forbidden apple, if you like?
I suppose it was when I started going to the real dancing and started taking drugs. So we started off taking speed and then taking Eckies. So that was the kind of first bite of that cherry, I suppose. And then going to parties. And all the kind of fun stuff that happens with that. Trying to think, because it was different back in the town then. I mean, there was fighting all the time. So I'm trying to think. I can't actually remember when the first fight would have been, but I remember the kind of. I remember the. I can't remember when exactly it was, but I can remember the feeling going, fuck, this is actually real now. This is it's getting a bit dodgy, because I mean back then there was bottles in classes in the dance, so people were always getting whacked with bottles and tumbler and people carried knives and all that. So after school and so you're working, you've got a proper job, or I left school and went to do graphic design. Kind of hated it after a couple of months. I hated it. Like when I got to, I was decent at school. I was in good classes in 3rd and 4th year, and I had good potential. But see, when I got to 5th year, I just couldn't be arsed. Just couldn't be arsed. And And I remember my higher English teacher, she gave me a photocopy of an essay with the name blocked out, and she went, read that. And I read it, and she went, what do you think of that? And I went, pretty good. And she went, you wrote that last year, you don't recognise it? I went, no, she went, you wrote that last year. I wrote it in 4th year, and I was like, and this was me sitting in 5th year reading it, thinking, that's really good, man, and I couldn't have pieced it together. My head just went, I just wasn't interested in school, and I got the place on the graphic design course, and I didn't need my hires for it. It went for my portfolio that I put together. So I just went, I'm not interested in. Went to college and done the graphic design, lasted about 2 months and chucked it. I was working part-time in a shop in the town at the time and went full-time in there. Back then, I think, when would that have been? 1998 maybe? 1998. I wasn't even getting £4 an hour.
We were talking about this the other day. I was, like, when I left school, I was on £1.52 an hour.
Aye.
Which is just like fucking £1.52. It's just like, in my lifetime. And now I'm starting to remember when my dad and adults around me, so different adults, talked about in my day I was getting, and now I'm saying it, I'm going to my kids, I'm like,
it was the wee guys at the end of the thing we done in the cashback for communities. They said how much was a gram of coke back in your day.
That's what they're trying to equate it now.
I know,
okay, so back in your, they're probably thinking of the investment opportunity. And like, imagine I bought coke back then. You're looking at it like a stock portfolio, But so talk about like your journey up to, I suppose, your first court appearance, because that's when, based on your talk, that was when you started to, well, maybe it might have been your first wee light bulb moment up to that period.
I suppose that was,
and how long
I think about 17, 18 was when I'd been kind of sneaking down that road, and then when 17, 18, that's when that was me. Started getting involved with taking drugs. I was taking Eckies, and I was trying to sell Eckies as well, but I was trying to sell them at dancing, and I was taking some myself, and you were spending money that was in your pocket, so you're then trying to sort things out, and you're like 50 quid short of your bill, and you're like, how am I short for that? But you're not, you're on about dancing, and you're not with a pocket full of Eckie tablets. So you're not, and you're with money in that pocket, and you're buying a drink, you're doing it. So, I mean, you're trying to run a business, but yeah, it's just chaos. Yeah. So, that was just madness. So, I suppose then things escalated, and just the party lifestyle kept continuing, getting involved with, getting into fights, and I suppose being out and about in the town and bumping into just boys with boys. I suppose it was not never really that serious, I don't think, but I just getting involved with different areas of trouble, but no, I'm never actually getting caught.
Right.
I never actually getting caught or charged or anything like that.
So how many years are we talking before where you're getting actually, I suppose, more comfortable and more confident?
And things just become the norm as well. Things will just become the norm. So things were happening, or maybe things on you that was just normal to have, because you maybe had to watch your back if you were going somewhere or you were doing something, or you maybe had to watch in case people you were fighting with the week before or a couple of weeks ago and recognise. I mind being out with a girl I was going out with at the time, my girlfriend at the time, and we were in a pub in the town, and we walked into a pub in the town and we were just kind of scanning the place, and there was about 8 or 10 boys across the pub who we'd been fighting with recently. And I remember, and I seen them all clock me, and I was with a girlfriend at the time, and I says, she could see my face, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, swag the boys at the back. I said, we were all boxing with them a couple of weeks ago. I said, we've obviously recognised this year. She's like, what's going to happen? And I don't know. We'll not be in here for long, because the first time I go to the toilet or something, or they may just end up having a pop. So I remember that, man. I remember standing and thinking, we need to get out of here. I'm going to get done in.
So you're on edge. You're kind of looking over your shoulder. So looking over your shoulder all the way up to, I remember you saying something about the flat that you were in, or the flat that you were renting at the time, was where, this is where you got caught first.
No. I had the way my kind of drug taking just kind of escalated, and then what happened was people were phoning me. It was when coke became a wee bit more freely available, but not everybody had it, and I was able to get it. So I must have been about 23, I think. It's one of my mates done it. So people would contact me like, "Can you get us it? Can you get us it?" So I was getting on it, and then I was like, "What am I doing? I'm filling his pockets." So I thought, see if I get myself a wee bit, I can sort them out, and I can have a wee bit for myself, and maybe a wee bit extra money. But then you're finished, and then the phone keeps going. You're finished what you had, so then next week you get more, and the phone keeps going, and then next thing, you're not just getting it to a couple of your pals, you've actually got proper punters, you've got people that passed on, like, can you get this guy, and people that don't really know who you are, and I, at the time, I kind of created a wee, I don't know, I kind of surfaced that if you and your pals are sitting in the house having a beer or sitting in a pub, boom, you phone me. Within about 15 minutes, 10 minutes or something, I was over there quite discreet. He's in a pub, I'll sit down, talk to you for 5 minutes, bang bang, there's stuff, there's my money, thank you, see you later. Or in the house, but my boss, you only have to go, I'm not saying you're taking it, I'm just using that for example, but if maybe you and your pals are sitting, you decide you want to don't eat it and go about and look for it, looking up dodgy clothes, are worried if you're getting robbed. He phoned me, and I was there quite quickly, boom.
Deliveroo.
I was at Instagram before there was an Instagram, and I used to, you'd go and serve everybody, and then it maybe be like 10 o'clock on a Friday night, me and my pa would sit and get something to eat. Everybody was all kind of, people finished work at like maybe 3, 4 o'clock, your phone would be going. So you'd go and serve everybody, you'd be busy, until everybody kind of had enough. They were sitting in the pub, blah blah blah, and then it was back to the houses, so then it was like 12, 1 o'clock, everybody's back at the house after the pub, they're all phoning you again. Still sitting up sometimes maybe, because you're seeing a lot of money to be made, people come back for dancing, and they're on the phone. Cool, I'm there 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then so, he just, because I created that beast, I suppose, I created that service, so I just get more and more in, and then, bang, and then it was I was doing the policy, and he said to us, "What are you staying in here on a Saturday night with drugs and money on you?" I'm like, that's scam. So that was a Saturday night, we got a weekender, court on the Monday, bailed on the Monday, and was then on bail for a year. And
talk a wee bit about that court appearance though, because that was a wake-up call for you as well, wasn't it? You were in there with people talking about how you just felt like a fish out of water. This was your first appearance.
It was just, I suppose the court on Monday was dragged on, and you've got people who, it was just, Glasgow Sheriff Court on a Monday morning is, I think it's one of the busiest courts in Europe, and it's just, it's just mental. And you've got all sorts of types. You've got guys who've maybe not been involved in any sort of trouble before and get caught driving or something like that. And then you've got maybe people that are in the town and get involved in a wee fisticuffs or something like that, who you can see. And then you've got your addicts, you've got your people that are persistent offenders, you've got people that are like just know the drill. You've got guys putting, I'd never seen it or heard of this before, but there was a guy putting out lines of smack and snorting smack off the bench, and I was like, snorting smack? He's like, stood in front of you now. So that was just, that was madness, man. And then I didn't know, but I didn't know the difference, but I was on an indictment charge and then appealing in a private court, because for whatever reason, I'm sure that's what it was. And I was like to me, "Oh, big man, you're on an indictment, man. Oh, that's not what's happening, man. Why getting kept in here?" But he's like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Have you got previous on that? I don't know if you'll get bail." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I can't get remanded now. I've got shit I need to sort here." So I ended up I did get out. And I had my own house at the time, but because I'd been in hospital and get out on the Friday or the Saturday. And my dad had been saying, "Look, come and stay with us while you're just at the hospital." And I'm like, no, because I'd stayed with him when the initial thing happened and I'd broken arm and broken hand. I had to stay with him because I couldn't do anything myself. And I'd broken that arm, So that was a full cast, and I broke that hand, so I had a cast on there, so I had like cut off fingers here.
You need to take care of.
Aye, and I had taken a hide a wee bit as well, because I was a sitting duck. But that was brutal, thanks to him on dash man, so after the second operation, I went back to my own house. But when I got the weekend on the post, says, do you want them to know you're here? And I went, no, and then I called, I shouted for the donkey, I said, look, you're going to need to actually, it's my mum and dad, I thought, see if my man's phone, make check if I'm alright, if I need it, and I don't answer the phone. She's going to panic, she's going to go up to the house and there's nobody there or whatever, so she's going to panic and think something's happened to us. So, I had to phone her. Her initial reaction was, he was fine in the town. And she's like, no, it can't be, because he's getting a broken arm or that. And she said to the copper, she says, it can't be Mark, somebody must have gave his details or something. She went, he's got a broken arm, and the guy was like, oh, we know he's got a broken arm, the doctor's been to see him for painkillers and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, what happened? I can't tell you. And they were like, man.
So at the moment, at this point, your parents have got no idea
no, they have no idea
what you're involved in.
They don't understand drugs. I mean, they knew they were like, they seen the state I was coming in when I stayed in their house and I was coming in for parties, and they obviously suspected things, but I'd never, they had no idea that they kind of level I'd get into this selling drugs.
Right. And so you got out of court, so how long then before you end up doing your first sentence? And tell us a wee bit about that first sentence.
Nearly a year, because I was close to getting time barred, and I was worried about getting time barred, because I thought if I'd get caught with drugs and money, and I thought, see so everybody's waiting on something to happen to us, and if I just went, oh, I get time barred, I was like, everybody's going to think I've stuck some dirt on my glass and I've just got it like that. So I was like, and people are saying, you may get time barred, you may get away with it, and I'm like, I don't really want that to happen, because then it looks like things have just disappeared and you've just walked.
Yeah.
So I was on bail for a year. I owed money because I got caught with money and drugs, so I owed money. I had to, the job I was working for the council at the time. I was a carer with disabled people. Had to chuck my job. Couldn't get another job. The word started to get out that I'd get caught. So nobody wanted to work with us, drug wise. Nobody wanted to be near us because I was jailbait then. No. So I wasn't making the same money. For drugs. So everything just started imploding. There was pretty serious step because I owed drugs and money. Because I owed money for I had a debt. I had a big drug debt for the stuff that I got caught with. That was owed to. I owed that to somebody who owed that to somebody else. He'd had all in his bill. So that was quite a kind of serious worry, a serious concern that something could happen because of that. The stuff with the broken arm and that was a bit of concern as well. So it was a right shite time.
And so is that debt gaining interest as well, or you?
Wasn't gaining interest? No, it was just sitting. It was just sitting there daily. Aye. And I've not really got an income.
Aye. So you've no ability for income. And the other thing that struck me when you were doing your talk was, I don't know if it was when you were in hospital, but you talked about how up until that point, you know, you were flying high, you had all your mates around you, you were supplying people, things were going well, and then you realised after that, like, it went really quiet. You thought you were friends, weren't quite friends anymore.
Nights out, parties. I was always in parties at my house. House was full. People were phoning. My house was too full. I'm saying, nah, I can't have many more people in my house. It's too full. Blah blah. The phone was just. It was always busy. There was always people in your motor. There was always. Everybody was always about when things were good. I was in hospital. I couldn't get into fucking bring a McDonald's up. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, and Neddy's phoning me. Neddy's texting me. Neddy. When I then get out of hospital and I'm in the house, and it's like...
That's a wake-up call, isn't it?
Where is it from today? Do you know what I mean? Where is it from today, man? What's happening? Nobody come up and... Not that MD owed me anything, but... Do you want me... You can't drive, one will take your messages. One will take... Listen, do you need it for shop? I'll come and I'll drop you on bread and milk. I'm walking along the garage along the road to go and get bread, milk and cut whatever, paper, whatever. But watching, I mean, I was walking back for the garage one time, and I'm sure I still had a cast on, so I really didn't have a fight in me, and I was concerned that this would time me that if it happened that people would go for that or whatever and get broken again. And I remember it, man. I was walking back, it was a dark night, about tea time, and I just heard a van kind of drive, and you hear the big diesel engine, and then coming to a stop, and I heard the side door sliding open, off, and I just heard laughing, and I turned round, and it was a guy who stayed a few doors up from me getting dropped off his work.
But that's it, isn't it? I mean, nobody.
Bag of nest is off, and I was away because I just thought, somebody jumped out here, I'm getting dragged in, I'm off.
So nobody talks about that, about the price that you pay. Obviously, it's the price you pay when you get your liberty taken away, but nobody talks about the price you pay when you're out and you've been caught. And nobody's coming around anymore. Nobody's going to go and get you at McDonald's. You're looking over your shoulder all the time. A van, a diesel engine, a door sliding, and you're like, that alarm, that anxiety.
I didn't even turn round because I thought if I turn round here, I'm losing a second.
Aye.
But
that anxiety that's
bag away
with you all the time.
Aye.
And so, at what point then do you talk us through the point where you think that's it?
I've had enough.
I've had enough. Like, what is that? What's brought you to that point where you're going?
I just felt there was no. I just felt there was. I had no way out really. I had no way out of the hole that I was in. I had no way out, and my mum and dad had said to us to go back and stay there because I was losing the house because I couldn't keep up the rent in the house. I didn't want to go and stay at the house because I was still a target. But me, I was still concerned about my own safety. So, but me, I didn't want to go and stay in their house because I didn't want somebody coming to their house. Or more chance of somebody coming to their house. So,
because you're exposing your parents to risk then as well, Because and they don't know, they still don't know at this stage. So
no, they don't know. I mean, my dad said to us, they're no daft, but they're no streetwise, and they're no drug-wise at all. So, but my dad said, look, you obviously get caught with stuff. Do you owe people money? And I said, no. I played it to them that I was doing somebody a favour. I just done a kind of one-off that was because I was off work and I was on sick pay and blah blah blah. I said I get a chance to make a few £100 to do somebody a favour. So that's what I played out to them, and then I left it at that. But when I was in Castle Huntley, and there was a social worker who was assessing us for home leaves. She painted a totally different picture. She didn't really do. She did us a bit of a bad turn, to be fair. But and she caused my mum. That was the bit that annoyed me. She caused my mum a lot of stress and worry. So there was I didn't see a way. I just couldn't see a way out. I didn't see a way out, and I thought shit's going to happen to us here. And I remember being at my lawyer, and I'm saying like we can try and go like first offence, and we can try and plead if you could get community service, you take maximum community service and do this. And I said, look, I don't want community service. I said that I just want to go to jail. I'm done. I just want to go to jail. And I remember he kind of sat back and he went, you've not been in the jail before? And I said, I know, but I don't care. I'm done. I need removed. I need removed for this situation.
Yeah. So you basically kind of put the cuffs on yourself and said, take me away.
I said, I just want to sign section 72 or section 70 or something it's called. So you sign that and just bang your rights, put your hands up, plead guilty. And because if you sign that early, you get a third off your sentence. Right. So I just says, look, I'm done. I just want to go.
And off you went. So how long did you do?
My wife still slags us, man. She's like, you talking about this? It started off when I got sentenced. I get 2 years because you played early. We'll give you a discount. You're 16 months. So really, I should have done 8 months in the jail. I done 4 months in jail. And I done 4 months in the tag in my mum and dad's house and an 8-month licence. So 4 months, it's absolutely fuck all, but it was a big. I mean, I went in there. Went in there a mess and came out. Been training, cleaned up my act. Wasn't getting mad and all that sort of thing. Came out and I'm like, my pals, you still getting mad with? You're still sitting up all night like that. Fuck off! You've been away about a weekend. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've been a longer benders than you were away, so. Something happened, you still do it. It's like, So, and as I say, my wife still slags it. She's like, "You're still talking about this like 15 years later. It was 4 months."
I'll tell you what, it's 4 months longer than I'd want to be in there, and 4 months longer than a lot of people would want to be.
I mean, it was. Do you know what? It was perfect. It was the best, and as I've said that hundreds of times. It was the best thing that happened to us. It was the 100% the best thing that happened to us, because although it cleaned it made me, well, it was a weight off my shoulders when I went in. It's just weight off my shoulders. You settled into your routine. You got friendly with who you got friendly with. You settled into your routine, and you started to just kind of. And then I was just having moments and thinking, "Fucking hell, man! The way I treated that person and this person and that lassie, and I shouldn't have done that." And I was a pure prick. I was a total arsehole, man. You think, "Mum and Dad," and that's when things started kind of like hitting home. You're like, "Mum and Dad, all the years of the shite I put them through, the way I spoke to them, the things I didn't go to, the things I turned up in a mess to, and he kept me. You can stay in the house, would I had all your boot? Kept my son staying in that house when he's just being a prick. Would I said, listen, you need to go."
So it gave you time to reflect.
Oh, aye, mega time to reflect, and that's when I can realise as well. It was my mum and dad who were running up to the hospital and bringing me to McDonald's. It was my mum and dad who were taking me on my messages. It was my mum and dad who were giving us a wee bit of money here and there. It was them who were there constantly. Even with everything I'd done to them.
So I suppose you're feeling, with the reflection, you're feeling guilty for all of the pain and suffering that you've caused. People that you love, people that have got your back, genuinely got your back. And so when you come out, what's waiting for you when you come out, and how do you go about rebuilding?
I had to sell my motor to pay off the debt. There's nothing waiting for me really. There's nothing waiting for me when I come out. There's the offers of people saying, "Oh, you're just out and you've got nothing. I'll give you a motor, you can run a boot, I'll set you up a couple of people, or you can go and drop a couple of things off for me and get a couple of earners." And I'm just like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And when I was, my ma, I had it out with my ma a wee bit. She kept giving me a hard time and giving me wee digs and all that, and I'm like, "She said to take it to the gym." I was back in her house, my dad's house. On the tag, I'd obviously put them through all sorts of shit. They were up at bar visiting me, up at castle visiting me, putting money in and putting different stuff in, getting us whatever I needed. Not whatever I needed, but if I really needed something, and I were looking, aye. And I kind of had it with my ma a wee bit. I was like, "For fuck's sake, would you want?"
Basically looking after you, but your mum's giving you a hard time because...
My man's giving me a hard time. I mean, rightly so. But then I was just sitting up my wee room all the time, buying my wee tiny box room, sitting watching the Euros. That was the only good saving grace I had. I wasn't even going to take a tag, because I was up in Castleintley, and I wasn't going to take a tag. I was just going to stay up there because it was all right. I knew I was going to be coming out to the tag in my mum and dad's house. It was just going to be, do you know what I mean? It was just fucking jail. Aye. And I thought, I'm alright. I'm up the castle. It was all right. Do you know what I mean? It was. The castle was sound. Had pals up there. You were training, you could go out in the fresh air, you could go out running, there was a big field, you could go out running in the field. The food was alright. I was doing haircuts up there, I'd learned barbering, I was doing haircuts up there, and you actually got your money in cash up there. So I had money in my pocket. You were only a certain limit that you could have any one time, so sometimes I was there at the limit. So I was, my co-pilot, I was giving him money, or I was just, nobody was really looking after him. There was nobody like sort him out with stuff. So I said, "You should buy your tobacco and your phone, and I'll get everything else." So we had like there was a wee kind of shop in the castle. So we had like tin fruit, rice pudding, coffee, tea bag, sugar, we had a kind of sausages, biscuits, and everything was alright. You had your own clays up there as well, so you just kind of settled into a routine up there, and it was alright, man. And I thought, well, I think I'll just stay up here. And then it was like every 3 weeks you get home for a week. But my girlfriend at the time had booked a holiday. For us. And then she's like, "I need to pay this holiday," and I'm struggling to pay the holiday and blah blah blah. And then Mum said, "I can't actually believe they came up for a visit." I said, "I'm not going to go for the tag." "I can't believe you're not going to go for it. You would actually rather stay in prison." and can we hit me your house? And I was like, no. And then so, a girlfriend at the time, my man, look, come home, you're going to go for the tag. So anyway, went home, within about 2 weeks, fell out with my girlfriend. And the saving grace I had was that the Euros was on 2008. It was 2008, so Euros was on, so I sat and watched the Euros every night. It was 2 games of football every night, so that kind of killed my time a wee bit. Again, nobody's coming down to, well, I had to be in the house for 7:15, but nobody's coming down to see you, nobody's coming down to sit with you, nobody's...
You're basically isolating.
You're isolated, aye.
What's now common for most people. You were isolating back in 2008.
And what age was I? 2008, so 27. I had a barber, I was a barber certificate. I mean, I was alright in the jail, but as a barber, you're desperate, nobody's really bothering. But I'll be out here. I wasn't fast enough to be a good barber. I didn't have any decent qualifications or anything. But all I had was this kind of newfound kind of drive for the fitness side of things. So I was waiting for on a Sunday morning. I was waiting for my tag to come off. I was waiting for the tag time to come off, and I was out running. You're passing people that were walking back from parties or going to a shop or something like that. Oh, how are you going? Oh, they're running, man. Out running, feeling good, feeling a total difference. And that's when I decided that I was a few months of that, and then I thought I'm going to go to a couple of college courses on the fitness side of things. And that's where that all started.
And so talk about that now. So you've been isolating your folks, you've made this decision to get into the training side of it.
Aye.
And you're a bit older now, you're not a spring chicken anymore.
Aye.
So there you are going off to train at college with
I went
10 years younger than you.
I went from I went from an interview and the head of the course says, look, it's a January start course, it's an NQ course, you're a bit older, you're experienced in training, you can wait and you can start the HND course in August or September it was. I says, look, I've been out of education for years, I've not wrote an essay, just even computers and all that have all totally changed. I didn't even have an email, I had to set an email up for applying for the college. I said that I would rather just come on and just wanted to get into the way of things and get into a wee routine and have something to work towards. And there was a trip out to Lanzarote, there's a training resort there in Lanzarote, so there was a free trip to that, so that miles on that as well. But I mean, it was good, but you're starting, because it was a January course, there was Christmas leavers, so there was wee guys at 15 on the course, bamming the teacher up and all that, and I'm like, boys, fucking get a bye, man, come on, we're not in school here, it seems you don't want to be here, beat it. I says, I'm here to learn. They're like, who's this guy? Your dad?
Yeah, the daddy of course.
So, I mean, that was good, but that was I just started to enjoy it because I was feeling good. I was enjoying life. Do you know what I mean? I was away from all the madness, and I was I was feeling good with training and all that. And although I was skint, I was a happy skint. I've said that before. I was like, see, on a Friday night, I was sitting in my room with a wee Chinese. Thinking, right, I'm skint here, I'm lucky if I've got 12 quid there in my drawer, but to see me through the weekend, but do you know what, I'm not worrying about what motors outside the house, I'm not worrying about I'm not worrying about anything.
You can't put a price and peace of mind.
I wasn't worrying about anything, I was skint, I was happy skint, I wasn't chasing money, I wasn't had people patching the phone to us. And you're used to Friday night was the kind of stressful night, you're trying to get money and you're seeing people, and it was just, so I was just like, I've done my week, I'm sitting with a wee Chinese, watch your telly, watch a wee DVD.
So after that, the HND, so then you're off to do, and then are you training, or then you're off
to uni after that?
So you go to uni after that?
My deal was just to finish the HND and get a job in a gym and be a personal trainer, blah blah blah. But one of my lecturers, there was two lecturers that I was got kind of pally with. One was maybe a year or two older than us and one was my age, so we were in that same bracket. And in class, I would be quite kind of not formal, but I would give them my place as a lecturer. Outside, we would just talk as if just two guys just talking. So we'd have kind of just normal conversations. And one of them worked with a football team, and I said, Larry, I'd love to do something like that. And he's like, well, go to uni, get your degree. And I was like, I need to get my mum and dad's house. That was my goal. And then I started doing the sums. And I was like, right, say I'm not going to get a mortgage, but say I need to rent, I'm going to rent a wee flat now. That's how much I need to pay in rent, and then that's how much, and I started tallying up, and I was like, and then I'm going to need to walk out of here, although I'm 30, I'm going to need to walk out of here and get a job with that sort of money, but really, I'm leaving college, my peers are 23, 22, 20. You know what I mean? So I'm basically leaving, I'm still a wee guy, I'm not due a salary like that, so and then you're thinking, like, should I be getting that? And
so you're feeling behind, you're feeling like you're...
you're miles off it, because you're seeing pals who are buying houses, going on holidays, driving nice motors, having range, who are moving on through life, do you know what I mean? And you're the big fan of it, and you're not dash tapping 20 quid. And
that's the price you pay for it.
Well, because I mean, that's the price you pay. I was up there and money in your pocket and you've got a good gear on and living a big life, and then it's just away for you.
So now, so you did that, you did your 3 years, you got your degree, your Bachelor's of Science degree, hence the Neddy Scientist. And so that's it now, you're a fully qualified sports, what's the...
Sport and exercise scientist. Actually, that was the degree, sport and exercise science.
Yeah. And so, where do you go from there?
Well,
Tell us up to the time where you've got your own business. And
I'd managed to done some volunteer positions with football teams. Had to jump through hoops for that, PVGs and things like that. I had to jump through hoops because I was getting considered for the ban list because my drug conviction was they were considering me putting on the ban list. And I'd been on that for 10 years, so that just completely fucked us. Put forward my case, argued that, we just sat and hand wrote it. Just old school, man, I just sat and hand wrote it. And I wrote about six or seven A4 pages, because I didn't know how to start it, and then I thought, right, timeline of getting out, what have you done since then? There was wee certificates in college, the college courses, there was wee other coaching certificates and different wee things that I'd done. So I just said, there's a basic timeline, and then I just started. This is what I used to do, this is what I've done, blah blah blah, this is why I want to do it, this is where I want to go, this is where I see myself going with it. If this decision goes against me, this is what's going to happen. It's kind of down to use. And I just sat and wrote. And as I say, six or seven A4 pages. And then waited for a while on the decision for that. I took about 2 months or something. And if that decision went against me, I was like, what's the fucking point in this, man? Like, I'm done here, man. And I knew a couple of people who PT'd over in Dubai and that, and I thought, I'll just get them. When I wanted to get to there, I was just going to call it quite, say, I'm right, well, fuck it, I'll take my personal trailer qualification and just go abroad and just work at that and do it and kind of settle. So anyway, that didn't go against us. I got my PVG, doing voluntary stuff for the clubs. I was training in a wee council gym, and started to talk to a couple of the staff. I got to kind of know the staff in there. One of the guys who was one of the managers in there, he seen my colleagues tracking one day in the changing room. He's like, what's happening there, big man, what you doing? I said, doing the fitness course, blah blah blah. He says, have you got your level 2 in that? I says, no yet. He says, let me know when you get it. He says, we'll maybe see about getting some shifts and that in here. So I said to him, when the time came and I had my qualification, I could work in the gym, I said, look mate, big man, I've got my qualification. He said, right, cool, we'll look at getting some casual shifts. I said, I need to speak to you. But I knew it was the same age as me, so, and we'd spoke, and I thought, this isn't going to be a massive shock for him. So I said, look, I get done for drugs, I've got a drug dealing charge. And he went, right, cool. Tell me a wee bit about it, when in the office, tell me a wee bit about it. Told him, he's like, right, sound. He's like, don't worry about it. He says, you're obviously going to have to get through a few hoops and that, he says, but don't worry about it. So, I mean, this was a 0 hour contract, this was just a casual contract. And I was, what, 30, must have been 30, 31. And I had to meet like somebody who was head of HR, somebody for the legal department for the council, and somebody there was like a boardroom, there was like 4 of them sitting. And this was me having to go through this interview with them, or a meeting, whatever you want to call it, before I even get a daft interview to see if I could work in the gym. And I went through that with them and just dead honest with them, just said used to sell drugs, made a bit of money, get caught. Done a wee bit of time for it.
Do you feel, I mean, I suppose it's less of an issue, you run you're your own boss, but that is definitely an issue for a lot of the people that StreetCones work with and encounter, is the stigma that surrounds a conviction, you know.
Well, it kind of annoys me a wee bit, because I'll hear people who go, I can't get a job because I've got a conviction, or you need to do a disclosure for that, and I say to them, listen, you need to do a disclosure, just fucking tell them. Yeah. That's what it's got, is a disclosure, disclose it. Yeah. No, I'll not get it, I'll just hide it. You hide it, it's going to come up. So just tell them. And if I'm writing an application for the criminal conviction, this is what it is. This is what I've done. I'll ban and write, tell them, give them information about it. Sometimes if I've had an interview and say, well, obviously you've got this information here, but do you want to tell us about it? And again, I mean, I'm summing it up here for the sake of this, but I'll basically sum it up, and I'll basically just kind of explain to them. I'll decide, it was about party lifestyle, decide to sell drugs to make a wee bit of money, decision snowballed, end up a wee bit deeper in, get caught, go to jail, get out, and that's, and I don't get anywhere. Ask me if you want. And I mean, that's a kind of short version, obviously I say it a bit nicer than I'm interviewing with, but I'm pretty kind of frank with it, and I'll say it is what it is. I'm not going to try and dress things up and say, oh, I didn't know what I was doing, or I was bullied into it, or blah blah blah. Made the decision. Yeah. So, and I'm making decisions now that I'm trying to kind of change my direction, and I'm turning my back on that sort of stuff. So, I got the job in the gym and worked in there while I was at uni. And done that through uni, done the voluntary stuff with the football team, blah blah blah. Finished my honours degree with uni, graduated, well done that. What happens now? It was just 5.5 years I've been studying, I've been on that, and then it was just, right. Aye, all right mate, you've got a degree, or you've got BSc honours, you've got letters after your name, you're still driving a kind of oldies motor, you're still staying in your mum and dad's house, mate, you're 33, you're a 33-year-old man, your wee sisters have got their own houses and blah blah blah, you've not even get, I mean, I was earning money that, my monthly wage for the gym, I used to spend dancing when I was selling drugs. What I was making, I was only working part-time, so it was enough to put fuel on the motor and maybe put fuel on the motor and kind of feed myself, and I wasn't even paying any big money on it because I couldn't afford it. I just tried not to cost my mum that money. So there was that big, like, what happened next? Yeah. Applying for jobs, nothing. You were getting Notts County email, there's a Notts County email you back, brilliant, you were not successful, thanks for the application, blah blah, all that push. And I was like, and there was I worked in the gym, when I was in the gym one day, I was finished uni, I got a good few months, I was finished. I had no intentions of going full time in there, because I was like, this is killing me, see, like doing inductions, and this is just sitting in the bike, and blah, okay, yeah, that's enough, all right, it was killing me. I thought I couldn't do this full time. A thingy job came up, a manager job came up in the gym, people said to me, you're going to go for it? No, you're going to go for it, well, if a full timer gets a manager job, you're going to go for full time? No. Oh, the manager job would be a good one, it'd be a good job, it'd be a good salary and security and pension, blah blah. And I'm like, see if I do that, see what I've sacrificed for all the years I went through there, just to settle for a job that I didn't want to do, like managing people, and I wanted, I was good in front of people, hands on in the gym floor, and I knew I was talking to hundreds of members, and I knew the stuff about them, and I was good with the members. I know I took mine on here, but I was good with my members and I enjoyed what I'd done. I wasn't great with cleaning or that sort of things, but so a guy who had a knee issue, knee pain, doctor gave him painkillers for years. He'd a wee bit of weakness in that side of his body. I'd done some stuff for him, stabilised him a wee bit, strengthened him up, and his knee pain kind of went away. So he thought, this guy's wonderful, doctors couldn't fix me. Doctors said they tried to fix him, they just gave painkillers, and this guy could fix us. So he thought I was away up there, oh, this guy's amazing. So he walked into, he was working away for a few years, and he came back and he seen me, and he went, I'm surprised you're still here, big man. I went, I've just finished uni, and he went, I just thought you'd have a wee bit more ambition than that. And just kept walking, and I was fucking raging, fucking raging at my box, man. And I went away into the office or the staff room or something, I went away and I was like, fucking prick, man, fucking raging at him. And then I started to kind of think, well, maybe he's actually got a point here. And I'm like, you're not just finished uni, you finished with uni about 4 months ago, what are you doing? And then my pal that I worked with, he died, suddenly died, that was it, just heart stroke one day and he was done. He was gone and that just completely fucked us. And that was it, so that was a time when I was like, you can be gone like that. And it was obviously a time that kind of sent me kind of down it a wee bit because you've lost a balance, so you're kind of thinking like, what are we doing here, man? And I thought at that time, I had quite a positive outlook but then when I realised I was like, you really could, it's going to go at any time. And he used to say, you need to do something, you offer something more than just doing this and blah blah blah. And that's when I'd met, in fact no I hadn't met Kirsty, somebody had been trying to set me up with my wife now. And I kept saying, no, I'm not interested in all that set up stuff and blind dates and all that, it's just cringy. And I ended up, do you know what? I'm going to go and see that. I went in to see her, boom, we were out, and I was a few months down the line with Kirsty and I said, listen, I think I'm thinking about setting up my own business, setting up my own gym, this is how I want to do it. I explained that to her and she's like, well, cool. I'd moved in with hers and she was supporting us and I was handing my notice and I set about getting the business plan and applying for a loan and all that. Because I thought I'm not getting a job, so fuck it, just let's go for it here. And I'll give myself a job. And then set about setting the business stuff up, didn't know what I was doing, just kind of started with the basics. Well, I need a gym, I need equipment, I need a website, and just wrote all the things down. These are all the things I had to start working on and I need money. Where did I get a loan from? Right? I need to fill the business plan in and within maybe within about a year. And then had premises and had the funds and then obviously it was lasted for a few weeks and then you're like, right, well, the bills are coming in and there's nobody coming in and giving me money here. So that's a kind of short version of that.
And so how long's Train Specific been running now?
Train Specific it's actually something I'm changing because that was the web address, was trainspecific.co.uk.
Yeah.
The business at first was called Specific Strength and Fitness Limited, that's what it's still called officially. But people couldn't get it right, they were calling it Strength Specific and all that. And so I then dropped it and it was Specific, the Home of Performance and Rehab. I've changed it now and it's Specific, the Home of Performance Rehab and Old School Lifting. And I'm changing the website so it's just going to be specific.scot. Because the Train Specific thing is kind of backfired on me a wee touch. So at the end of this year it'll be 6 years.
6 years you've been
6
running.
years. Aye.
And so you were saying now you've got a couple of staff, are you able to take some time for yourself now? You still do?
Aye, I don't do everything myself. I mean, at the first 3 years I was doing about 90 hours a week, 6-7 days a week. No bringing any money in. I think, like, how long do I go? Well, how long do I go in here? There was points I was borrowing money to put in to pay the rent on the premises. And so that's taking a toll on everything. It was about 3 years before I started actually taking £100 a week. And I was still nervous about it. I was like, I don't know if I can afford to do this. Because it was kind of funny. I'd got to a point where the bills were all getting paid, but I wasn't getting paid. But I felt like as if there was something kind of holding me back. And I was like, I just can't get it early. I can't get it early this next bit. Everything's turning, but I just can't get the bit where I get money in my pocket, where I get a salary, and I done via the NLP. Aye. So I done an NLP session with a guy. I've done a couple of them actually, and I think it was maybe the second or third session. It was we were just talking. We went back to selling drugs and blah blah blah. And I can't even remember how it came out, but he says, you're carrying about guilt. The last time you had money in your pocket, and the last time was when you were selling drugs. Yeah. He says you associate money in your pocket and being kind of not well off, but you associate that feeling. You feel that you shouldn't have money. You should be doing all these hours as a penny sort of thing, and you should be doing all this and not getting any money. You should be. I said, but you're holding on to that.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah.
Fuck, it blew my head, man. I was like, fucking hell. I says, I do. 100% do. He says, do you feel you deserve the money in your pocket? And I went, no. Now I see it. I've not wanted to have that because I'm like, no, I shouldn't be having wages. I shouldn't have, because all the years although I was working part time right through uni, I never had money to go to NTGID and buy trainings or buy a trackie or go to the shops and buy it. It was only maybe if it was my birthday or Christmas or something, you maybe get a wee bung here and there. And you're like, I'll go and buy a jumper or I'll go and do this. So I didn't have disposable income. Yeah. So I was just used to that, and so then to break out of that, I had to like, no, it's alright.
Yeah. I mean, for people who are watching who don't know what NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and the idea is that in your nervous system, you've got language about your patterns of behaviour and things that you've done, and so your nervous system, especially having been so adrenalised during the time where you're making loads of money and you're making all these connections and you're feeling like a gangster in your own language, you know, and then to the point where you get caught. And the price that you pay and the time that it's cost you, like the 10 years of life where other people have been going that way and you feel like you're still at home with your mum, that's left this impression on your nervous system, so that when you've got the means to generate, and nobody's looking, you've built it all by yourself, and you've got the justifiable means to earn as much as you want to earn, you're holding yourself back because of the guilt associated to the time when you were earning good money. So now you've picked that apart, you know, with the help of the NLP, you've kind of unpicked that. You're in a better place now. You're able to just drive the business, bring in the money, get some time for yourself.
I mean, I've got away from 2 weeks, so I still don't have disposable income. I've got a decent enough house and drive over 8 motors and that. So.
Well, I'll tell you, listen, that's a hell of a story. You know, your journey through your lived experience, your road to change is an inspiring one, and you're now here making a difference in other people's lives. I watched you this morning with some of your clients, and these are people that are taking on their challenges now, physical and mental and nutritional, and making better lives out of the work that you're doing. So the couple of last questions that I always ask guests is, you're able to speak to your younger self, to the young Laurie, with the wisdom that you've acquired over the years. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Not to follow the crowd and to be a lot more confident in myself, and not to follow the crowd, and not to be a lot more, just be a bit more confident to say, no, I'm not doing that, or I'm not letting you do that, or just to have a bit more confidence and a bit more about myself, and not to get drawn into things and not to people please.
Be your own.
Be your own.
Yeah. And is there somebody in your life, friend, colleague, partner, business mentor that you want to acknowledge, thank, give a shout out to? Somebody that's made a difference to you?
I suppose just my mum and dad.
Right. They've been the rocks.
Just them, just them, because for everything I put them through, then they're still there. Do you know what I mean?
They're still loving you, and are they good now? Well, you're probably in a position now to help pay back some.
I mean, I've got a brilliant relationship with them now. Got a brilliant relationship because I'm not a dick anymore, because I'm not mad with it. I've got two wee boys, so I've got 2 grandsons now.
How old are they now?
1 and 2.
Oh right, so they're still.
And my mum and dad both retired now as well, so they're out my house now. They're over all the time. They love it. So I just be them, I suppose.
Good. That's a good way to end it. Well, listen, thank you so much for being honest and authentic and truthful and telling us your story. Because these stories, they'll go out. The audio version will go out to jails, and the audio-visual element will go on our website and on our YouTube channel, or Facebook page. And the people that watch this, we never know when what element of what you've said in your story is going to be a light bulb moment for them, where they're like, that's me.
I think it's just always down to taking responsibility for yourself, and then know going, because it's your life, and it's only you that can drive it. Nobody's going to come and hold your hand and say, right, you do this now, and then you do that now, you can go and do this course, and you can get this funding. It's really up to you to do what you to do what you want to do.
Yeah. But there's that saying, isn't it? You want to dance, you got to pay the band. You danced, you paid the band. You're at the other end now, and you've had these. You had your own road to change, and you've realised, and like you would have said to your younger self, be your own man, be your own counsel. Your peer group, whatever's happening, you don't need to please them. You need to please yourself ultimately. Not in a selfish kind of way, but you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and act according to your own value system, basically. And that's where you're at now. Whereas the value system that all of our younger selves please a value system that's based on. And kids nowadays, the value system's informed by Instagram, by bloody influencers and all kinds of nonsense.
Probably a wee bit I would add is to advice to the younger self is to give my mum and dad a lot more respect than what I did as well.
Give your elders, because you do. I've got a 19-year-old son now, and he's great. He's a good lad, but
he's 19.
He's 19. He thinks he's titanium. He thinks he's Teflon titanium in the world.
And he thinks you've never done it, and you've never experienced it.
So that's a good way to end. Well, listen, thanks again for everyone who's tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. Do share this video. Share it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. StreetCones, like the StreetCones YouTube page, and stay in touch. We'll have another live stream or podcast coming up very soon, and check out all of our films that we've made as well on streetcones.org at the Roadwork section. Thanks. Cheers. Thank you so much for that.
Pure and right, sliding like an ice cube on a silver tray, growing ever smaller in the sunlight of the day, fluid with no substance, formless and all broken, as my feelings slip away.